How will you feel if you heard that your important data like your BVN and your NIN are sold? I can tell you'll be very, very pained, yeah? But how will you feel if you heard that your BVN, your NIN, your international passport details, your driving license details are all sold for as low as 100 naira? How will you feel? I bet you'll be very, very depressed. Well, there was a report in this light, and this is a matter of concern on to this show. Welcome to MarketSquare. My name is Oluwapelubi Awe, and I welcome you to the show tonight gladly. A Pan-African social enterprise paradigm initiative raised an alarm over its discovery of national identity number, bank verification number, and other data of Nigerians on a website that was sold for as low as 100 naira some days ago. According to the group, the website, anyverify.com.ng, was discovered to be involved in the commercial distribution of personal and private data of Nigerians, although it's now shut down. On the screen, you have a Google search of anyverify.com.ng, and you can see that it's shut down already. But before the website got shut down, the website had this written: "We provide millions of our users reliable and quickest services to verify people's identity using their NIN, BVN, international passport, driver license, voter's card, and much more." Can you imagine? Literally, that suggests that the website has access to the database of all the government institutions that control the listed data in terms of the BVN, the NIN, international passport details, driving license, even voter's card details, where it pulled the information from. Imagine how anyone can gain access to your sensitive personal and financial details for just as low as 100 naira. This is not the first time there has been an allegation of data breach. Now, in March 2024, I did a search on that actually. In March 2024, there was an online publication by the Foundation for Investigative Journalism, FIJ, that alleged that expressverify.com, which is a private website, has unrestricted access to the NIN database and personal details of every registered Nigerian. Not just that, the report has it that the website has monetized the recovery of NINs and personal information on the Nigerian identification database. So I did a search on that, like I said already. I went to the website of FIJ, I think it was FIJ.com, FIJ.com, I believe. And you would find out there so many reports, so many investigative works published on the website there. And as of March this year, they had published on their website how that some individuals seem to have access to the information of Nigerians, their bank details, their NIN, all of this, and sell these data for as low as 100 naira, This discovery by the Paradigm Initiative indicated that unauthorized third parties still have access to Nigerians' database, and not just their NIN, not just their driving license, not just their international passport. Only God knows how much more details they have of every Nigerian in the country. Just a few days ago was a cyber attack. Now, talking about cyber attack, I'm linking this now to the fact that these guys, this website, anyverify.com, expressverify.com, these guys had access to our database. And how did they even get to that? Now, you would see a video pop up on the screen with regards to a national data hack, a compromise that affected over 210 national and local government offices, with the hacker demanding an $8 million ransom. Now, this happened in Indonesia, right? Last month. It happened in Indonesia last month. Report has it that there were long queues formed at immigration gates at Jakarta International Airport after systems went down on the attack. The software used was developed by Russian ransomware outfit Lockbit. Now, Indonesia has, as a country before now, is known to be a country that has a weak cybersecurity record with poor online literacy and frequent leaks from the country's website. The personal information of over 800,000 university and high school freshmen who had registered to apply for scholarships and other benefits became unstable, and they've not been able to lay their hands on it. So far, so good. But I learned again, doing my research for this episode, that the country has had to quickly quickly upload some of his data on Amazon cloud there, just so that they can see things happen, so that they are able to recover some things, that they have lost. The ACA is requesting for about $8 million dollars just to have things come back to normal, and that's quite a lot of money. And I fear greatly that. I hope this is not what is happening in Nigeria at the moment. Well, Mr. Kayode Adegoke, who is the head of corporate communications at NIMC, in response to the allegation of a data privacy breach, has said that no sensitive data of Nigerian citizens, as it concerns the commission, amongst other data collecting agency, has been compromised. Now, it went on to list some websites like idfinder.com.ng, verify.ng/signin, championtech.com.ng, trustyonline.com, anyverify.com that harvest data. On the screen, you have, I did a bit of Google search on this website. I realized that many of them have closed down, are shut down. You can see how Paul is moving it from side to side. This is Champion. This is championtech.ng, and you have it there that they've switched their websites to a website that you can buy data from, right? You can buy data on your phone and all of that. But before now, it was a website that advertised the fact that they pride themselves in the fact that they can help you get people's data, BVN, NIN, all of these details on their website for as low as 100 naira, I believe. So you have trustyonline.com, anyverify.com, and other websites that help to harvest data. And the government has put this website on alert, put Nigerians to be alert about the fact that these websites have been able to figure out how to get their data, and people should be wary of visiting these websites. And, it speaks for itself there. The public has been asked to disregard any claims or services that these websites offer and should not give their data, as they are potentially fraudulent, and data provided by public on such websites are gathered and stored to build data services they illegally provide. I wonder sometimes how I get some text messages from a number that I've never called in my life, telling me to apply for one government grant. By calling one Uche. I'm guessing you must have seen that before, right? Say, call the number, call Uche to get the grant that the government has allocated to you, 150K. Sometimes I even get some text messages that has it that I should apply for a part-time role. I will only work once in a week and get 500,000 naira. My goodness. How possible is that? Now, the Commission also reassured that robust measures to safeguard the nation's database from cyber threats, it's secure. The government is saying that the website is secure. They are putting up some world-class foolproof database system to ensure that the data of people are really, really secured. Now, this is why I had to bring this on MarketSquare, because this is a critical issue that has to be discussed about. If you're a business owner, for instance, you want to be careful as to how you put out your details online, because it could mean that some of your details are being sold to people for as low as 100 naira. If this turns through, because it is still undergoing investigation, if this turns through, it's a clear infringement on the privacy of Nigerian citizens. The dissemination of such data could lead to identity theft, financial fraud, and other malicious activities, including data owners being targeted by burglars, kidnappers, terrorists who buy data that includes home address. It's sad enough to know that your data is being sold, but it's even more depressing to know that your data is being sold for as low as 100 naira. This underscores the urgent need for robust data protection laws in Nigeria, stringent enforcement mechanism to safeguard the data of a Nigerian citizen. Now, like I said already on the show, this is being investigated already by the government, and looking at to see how the loopholes, first to be able to confirm that the data of Nigerians are not with these guys, are not with the owner of this company. And if they get to meet them, ask them how they were able to get the data that they have gotten and that they are selling for as low as 100 naira. Also, it's also to ensure that the government put in place some rules, put in place some privacy rules, data protection rules that ensures that citizens are confident enough to be able to put out their data and put out their details on some website, even if it's presented by the government, because the government is the owner. The government receives the voters' information, driving license, international passport. How then did these guys get these details enough to be able to use it and sell it to people for as low as 100 naira? This is a wake-up call, and I look forward to what unfolds in the day to come. We hope not to see what happened to Indonesia happen in Nigeria. This is a call to action for the government. It's time for the numbers. The all-share index dipped by 0.02% to close at 100,006.79 points, extending Friday's loss of 0.04% at 100,022.03 points. Investors lost 8.62 billion naira as market capitalization fell to 56.57 trillion naira, while the year-to-date return stood at 33.75%. LRX was the most traded in volume, contributing 39.35%, and Jitco contributed the most with a 27.04% share. Now, on the exchange rate side, between the 5th of July and 7th of July 2024, the exchange rate for customs duty collection declined by 4 naira after dropping from 1,516 naira per dollar to 1,512 naira per dollar. The NASDAQ rate depreciated by 0.31% from 1,517.02 naira per dollar to 1,521.73 naira per dollar, while the Bureau de change rate also depreciated by 0.46% from 1,513 naira per dollar to 1,520 naira per dollar. In a bid to increase the dollar supply in Nigeria's foreign exchange market and further stabilize the value of naira, the Central Bank of Nigeria has announced measures to ensure eligible international money transfer operators, they are called IMTOs, have access to naira liquidity to settle diaspora remittances. There was a circular circulated and signed by its acting director of Trade and Exchange Department that the measures will take effect immediately. You have on the screen a circular that was circulated by the acting director of Trade and Exchange Department about the measures and how that the measures will take effect almost immediately. You have this is a list, right? The list of the MTOs we have as updated in 2023, July 2023. You have the first, about 3 lists there. That's the first on the screen right there. There's a second updated list, and there's a third updated list as published by the CBN with regards to the IMTOs. IMTOs carry out cross-border fund transfer services for individuals and entities, and that's their work, residing abroad to recipients in Nigeria. In April, the CBN issued specific guidelines on IMTO services, including the minimum capital requirements and also prompt repatriation of export proceeds. Early in May 2024, the CBN granted about 14 new IMTOs approval in principle to double foreign currency remittance inflows through formal channels. Now, what IMTOs are meant to do, they're meant to be like an intermediary between the people outside the country and us here in Nigeria. IMTOs would now have direct access to naira liquidity through the CBN's window via their authorized dealer banks to execute foreign exchange transactions in the market. Now, the new regulation has it that transactions executed before noon on trading date will be settled on the same day, and also the pricing on the CBN portal would mirror the Nigerian autonomous foreign exchange fixing, that's NatFest trading rates, which are based on an acceptable market benchmark. Before now, doing the numbers, I'd mentioned to you how that the NatFest rate depreciated by 0.31% from 1,517.02 naira per dollar to 1,521.73 naira per dollar. And then you also see that there was a depreciation in the Bureau de change rate that depreciated by 0.46%. percent. And the government is saying that in the IMTOs transacting, they will transact based on the NatFest rate, because most times you find out that the NatFest rate is smaller. Sometimes it's smaller than the rate of the BVN changers, and the rate of the BVN changers. So the government is saying that they will make exchange. They will make exchange using the exchange rate as published by the NatFest on the day that they want to make the transaction before noon. All participants were required to submit daily regulatory returns to the Apex Bank, which must include all relevant information on the source of funds, and that also talks about on the source of funds of the persons depositing the money into the IMTOs to ensure that the transaction happens. This initiative by the Central Bank of Nigeria, because you're wondering why the government will need to make this clear to the IMTOs, telling them that they will need to stick to certain measures in order for them to be able to access Naira liquidity to settle diaspora remittances. Now, why is that the case? The CBN has designed this to widen access to local currency liquidity, meaning that there will be enough cash on ground for them to be able to transact, ensuring a smoother and more efficient settlement processes for remittances. This also will increase remittances. IMTOs provide official channels for Nigerians abroad to send money back home. So IMTOs, like you saw the list, Paul will project the list again for you to see, as updated July 2023 by the Central, that's like a year ago, by the Central Bank of Nigeria. There should be an updated list coming out soon, I believe, since we're in July already. And these are the list of the IMTOs that help to ensure they provide a channel for Nigerians to send money back home to their families, to their friends, to their loved ones. Okay, now this will increase remittances right there. Also, this inflow will also bring about boost remittance volumes by bringing foreign currency into the financial market. IMTOs can help the CBN. And if you're just joining and you are wondering what IMTOs are, it's not a Nigerian word, is it? It's international money transfer operators. International money transfer operators. They will help the CBN to manage exchange rate and in some way stabilize the Naira, because they will now begin to demand for the Nigerian currency, and you know that the higher the demand for a particular currency, the higher the value of that currency, and so that would happen hopefully in days to come. We're still looking at the CBN having its monetary policy committee meeting later this month, and looking forward to what decision they will make from that place. We should expect financial inclusion. IMTOs can reach areas where traditional banks may not provide financial services to a wider range of Nigeria. What else would this do to the Nigerian economy? It would spur liquidity of Nigeria's autonomous foreign exchange market, augmenting price discovery to enable a market driven by fair value for the Naira. That's an update from the CBN with respect to how they intend to improve liquidity, how they intend to improve the value of the Nigerian Naira, how they intend to appreciate the Nigeria's currency's value in days to come. And I hope this has started to take effect in the month of July 2024. On the show today, we've spoken about the data for 100 Naira. That's the title of this episode, isn't it? Data for 100 Naira and the issues around that, some update in regards to that and what the government is doing at the moment to ensure that they get to the bottom of the issue. Also today, we've spoken about the instruction by the CBN to IMTOs, the international money transfer operators, as to how to access the Nigerian liquidity to be able to settle diaspora remittances. Now, just before I came into the studio already, I saw some update with regards to some banks, in terms of their stocks. Remember, I mentioned on the show, was it last week or 2 episodes ago, where I mentioned about some banks and their recapitalization attempts so far so good. And right there, I think I saw something around Access Bank there. I saw something around JITCO already happening, published. I think it was yesterday was published. And it looks like these banks are beginning to take these things very, very seriously. Just in case you missed the episode where I spoke about the recapitalization attempt and update so far, you can check any of the videos in the playlist to see what I said with regards to Fidelity Bank, Zenith Bank, UBA, and I think Access Bank as well. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. I want to read your comment with regards to the data for 100 Naira, and also I want to hear your ideas with regards to the instruction by the CBN to the international international money transfer operators as to what they would be doing going in days to come with regards to accessing liquidity to be able to settle diaspora remittances. Do have to follow us on all our social media platforms, on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on TikTok as well, to get updates every time a video is made public. My name is Oluwa Pelumi Awe. Thank you for joining me. See you on the next one.